As I've said before, perfectionism is a thief. It steals your freedom, it hijacks your creativity, and it drains the joy out of your work. And yet, so many of us, including myself, fall into its trap, convinced that if we could just get everything right, if every line were straight, every word flawless, every detail polished, then our work would finally be good enough. But here's the truth. Perfectionism, it doesn't lead to mastery. It leads to frustration. It leads to burnout, a cycle of dissatisfaction. And that's why step 2 of the Bokeh Bushido Creator Code, which you can find at my website at bokehbushido.com, is about breaking free. It's about embracing imperfection, choosing progress over perfection, and reclaiming your creativity from the clutches of impossible standards. So let's talk about the code, perfectionism's demanding system. You see, perfectionism operates like a code, a rigid set of rules that dictates how you create. Every stroke, every word, every moment must meet an impossible standard. And at first, of course, this seems like discipline, doesn't it? But it's not. Don't be fooled. It's a straitjacket. It confines your creativity, leaving absolutely no room for exploration, for spontaneity, or growth. You see, when you follow perfectionism's code, you're afraid to take risks. You're afraid to make mistakes. And when creativity is ruled by fear, it loses its spark. Now let's talk about the claim of perfectionism. You see, when you give into perfectionism, it starts to take control. Suddenly, you're not creating for joy. You're not creating for curiosity or connection. You're creating to prove something, to gain approval, to avoid criticism, to meet an external expectation. Creativity stops being a gift and it starts feeling like a chore. And your unique voice becomes muted, buried beneath the need to get it right. And instead of pushing boundaries, you stay safe, you stay predictable and detached from the passion that first inspired you to create. Now let's talk about the curse of perfectionism and how it steals your joy. At its worst, perfectionism becomes a curse. It really does. Even when you succeed, it doesn't feel like enough because perfectionism whispers, you could have done better. This isn't flawless. You see, it robs you of the joy that comes from progress, from learning, and from trying something new. Over time, creating feels draining instead of energizing. You lose the wonder, the excitement, the fulfillment that makes creativity worthwhile. Now let's talk about the rewards of embracing imperfection. Here's the good news. We don't have to stay trapped. You see, when we let go of perfectionism and we embrace imperfection, everything changes. The code, the claim, and the curse are replaced by their opposites. First, the freedom, the liberation from these rigid expectations. You see, when you embrace imperfection, you free yourself from the harsh rules of perfectionism. You allow yourself to create without fear of judgment, without fear of failure. And this freedom fosters originality and authenticity, letting your creativity shine. And then there's the flow, how your creativity is reclaimed. You see, embracing imperfection reconnects you with the natural flow of creativity. You stop focusing on perfect results and you start enjoying the process. Mistakes become opportunities for innovation and your work feels alive again. And then there's the fulfillment, your joy being rediscovered. You see, letting go of perfectionism lifts the curse that steals your joy. You find satisfaction in the journey, not just the outcome. Every step, every lesson, every messy project becomes a reason to celebrate. Now, here are some of my thoughts on how to embrace imperfection. So how do we do it? How do we break free from perfectionism? Here are some steps. My personal opinion and my personal experience. Number one, prioritize progress over perfection. So here, what we do is we focus on moving forward, even if it's messy, especially if it's messy. Every step you take is a victory. Second, redefine success. Success isn't about being flawless. It's about learning. It's about growing. It's about creating something meaningful. And three, finish what you start. Commit to completing your projects, even if they're not perfect. Completion is a tribute and an honor to your journey. Number four, learn from your mistakes. Instead of fearing failure, embrace it. Embrace it as a teacher, because mistakes are where growth happens. And number five, celebrate the process. Find joy in the act of creating, not just the finished product. So step two in the Bokeh Bushido Creator Code is about letting go of perfectionism and embracing imperfection as part of your creative journey. When you choose progress over perfection, you reclaim your freedom, you reclaim your flow, and you reclaim your fulfillment. You stop chasing impossible standards, and you start creating work that's honest, that's authentic, and that, of course, is alive. So here's my challenge to you. Start something today and finish it. Not perfectly, but fearlessly. Make it messy. Let it be human, and let it be yours. Because in the end, mastery isn't about being flawless. It's about showing up. It's about embracing the journey. It's about creating with courage. Let's embrace the imperfection together, one project at a time. Perfection promises safety, but it keeps you trapped, afraid to start, afraid to fail, afraid to be seen as less than ideal. Imperfection isn't a flaw. It's the heartbeat of creativity, the place where authenticity and growth begin. And when you embrace imperfection, you allow yourself to take risks, to experiment, and to discover the unexpected beauty in the process. Letting go of perfection frees you to create boldly, knowing that your flaws don't diminish your work. They make it human and alive. And in the end, it's not your flawless moments that inspire others. It's your willingness to create despite the imperfections.